Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Mojo Plays Sims. Today I'm going to create a house inspired by the Weasley's house of Harry Potter. I was watching the film the other day actually and I saw the house and I was really inspired to kind of create my own version. Just to clarify, this is inspired by the Weasley house. So kind of the outside is inspired but the inside really isn't. It's got the same kind of like aesthetic to it on the inside. However, I think this is only probably going to be like a 1 maybe 2 bedroom house because really it doesn't have the room. When I was looking at pictures of the Weasley house, like everything's very kind of narrow of the like upper floors, and obviously they have a lot of children so they'd have quite a lot of bedrooms. However, without using magic, I didn't really think I'd be able to fit all those bedrooms in while keeping the same kind of narrow look to it, so that's why I think I'm only going to have it as a 1 maybe 2 bedroom house. I spent a lot of time on this very top floor. It's really annoying because you can't place fences like next to a roof because I think it registers that as a wall and you can't get rid of that wall. So I actually ended up using this kind of room divider thing that's like these logs or sticks or branches, and I used that as a gate, but I think, and I used that as a fence, sorry, but I think that kind of worked for the house anyway because that house is very kind of put together and like kind of clearly bits have just been added on rather than thinking initially like what would look nice. You can tell that like it starts off as one section that's just been built up and up and up because technically there wasn't like a fence or a wall. It meant that roof area was really difficult, and I even placed a wall there at one point actually, but it still didn't work. If you know what I'm on about, sometimes, well actually most of the time, if it recognises the room there, it will cut the roof out of it. However, it just wasn't working here, so I had to kind of, I could do that on one side where the room actually was, but on the other side I kind of had to put it together and get it to work. It looked alright in the end, I think. I just had to move the fencing back slightly because the roof was slightly overlapping onto the kind of balcony area. I used a lot of like the decorations that we get, like roof decorations or wall decorations to decorate the outside of this house because I really think it just finished the look off. I feel like if I didn't use them it'd be kind of very plain and boring. So I used quite a lot of those in this build. I'm going to be uploading a part 2 of this build because I just felt like it was getting quite long to also do decorations in this one, and I was getting kind of bored with it, and if I'm getting bored with it then it's not going to be as good, I feel like, because I'm kind of rushing it. But also this video would be really long otherwise if I did both in it, because I was going very back and forth with everything, kind of making sure that things made sense. Like I did the outside of the house and I had to put stairs in, and I was trying to work out where I could put those. And to be honest, I'm sure when I decorate it I'll probably change bits then just so I can get more things in. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is just like the outer shell so far, so don't be surprised if things do change quite a lot in the part 2 of this video, which I'll be decorating it in. I'm really excited to decorate it actually. I'm going to make it like really kind of cluttered and like everything's very wooden, a little bit messy but like not dirty looking, just messy. The problem I was finding with the stairs in this build is that I was trying to place it on like the outer edge of a room, but then there would be a roof there because there are a lot of roofs in this actually, especially because I kind of just like added bits on to make it look better, but then it actually made it more complicated to build. So yeah, it did make the stairs a little bit difficult, but we kind of got there in the end. In terms of the windows, like I said, I went for like a very wooden look to this house and like kind of homemade built yourself. So I think all of the windows are got that wooden look to them, and they're all kind of mismatched. Like I think there's like 5 or 6 different window styles I use, probably more actually. When I was looking at pictures of the house I kept noticing little bits that I forgot to do, and that kind of the porch area I definitely forgot to do, so I just put that on then and put like a little wooden fence and things to it. In the pictures I was looking at, they had this kind of very orangey warm coloured roof, so I did the same there. That little roof decoration was being so annoying. I think you can only put them the same level as the roof. I don't think you can have them much lower because every time I was moving it back slightly, it was going higher again. Oh, it was a bit of a nightmare, but we kind of got there eventually. I saw some pictures online and it looked like they had kind of, like when I looked closely, it looked like they actually had a few different kind of styles of like wood and brick and stone on the outside. So I initially painted it all wood. However, I actually went back and changed it because, like I said earlier, I wanted it to kind of look like bits just been added on, and you know, they did it themselves, so they probably would just kind of use what they had on hand. So I really liked that big kind of brick pattern. I don't know if I ended up using that or not. And then I think that one was also a brick, but it actually looked like kind of wood. But I did like how it looked all together actually, because I felt the house was like way too dark if it was all just one wood colour. And I definitely thought that adds a lot of dimension by it just being a couple of different colours. I love that flooring as well. I've never used it before because I've always thought it was kind of too dark and almost like a barn flooring, but I think it suited this build really well. I also, and this is another reason why it's only inspired by the Weasley house, it's not like an actual replica, you know, mirror image of it. I kind of got the idea to maybe do it so that it was like surrounded by water, like surrounded by a big lake or something, and I really like how this looked. I'm placing all these stones now and rocks, but I actually change it all in a minute because I moved the house back a lot, and then surrounded by water, so all this disappears in a minute, but I basically repeat that whole thing again. It was kind of, I really liked how it looked, but I didn't like how squared off the front was, so I decided to change that. This is when I then move the whole thing back and half the rocks go, and then I couldn't join the pools, so we had to start again. I wanted the front area just to be a kind of little bit of grass, maybe like they would park cars on, or have like a swing or something like that, or like a playground, maybe like a fire pit. Just like a little bit of land they could go on, because obviously at the moment they had no garden otherwise. And then I covered the whole outside of the pond area or the lake area with these rocks. It really annoys me they don't have like a lake or pond tool, any kind of water tool that you can't, like, it's just not such harsh lines, because otherwise it just really does look like a swimming pool or a fountain. Thank God for rocks though. I really like decorating things to look like ponds actually. I used a lot of algae and then the reeds and the lily pads and all stuff like that. I think it looks really cool at the end, and I always either make them that kind of dark greeny colour water or the brown colour, and I think it looks really nice. I used quite a few of the plants from Outdoor Retreat, and I also used some plants I think from the Vampire Pack. I used quite a lot of the wall decorations from the Vampire Pack to decorate the house with, because I thought it was just looking a little bit too clean and I wanted this house looking, really quite old. I actually thought I finished this build, and then I went back in and I decided to do those wall decorations from the Vampire Pack, and I also changed the shape of some of the roofs. I wanted it to be so that it was slightly going in and then poking out again. It's kind of so it looked like it was about to fall down. And then I decorated the outside. I don't think I keep any of what I'm doing now actually, because I ended up really liking the ones from the Vampire Pack rather than the ones, or maybe they are all from the Vampire Pack. I preferred the ones that were kind of like brambles rather than ivy, because I kind of did want it to look kind of like it was growing up the house, and it was kind of, I really like the ivy, but for this look it was a little bit too bright against the brown of the house. Maybe for another look, because I actually do like how it looked, but for this house it was just a bit wrong. I overlapped a lot of these kind of brambles over the windows of the house, which I think looked really, really cool. And I forgot how many floors this house had actually, but when I was putting all the brambles up I realised how big this house was. Well, not big, just tall, and it had a lot of walls and a lot of floor. So I was going over that quite a lot. You can see I go really back and forth, like adding bits and taking away bits of this, because I really like adding quite a lot, but I think it's really easy to go overboard with this, because then it just looks really fake after a while, especially like the kind of really dense, heavier ones. So I do take a few of those away. And then I did add a few cracks. You can't really see it on the outside of the house because obviously it's all quite dark, but I'm going to plan to add some of these cracks on the inside of the house. I did add some of the water stain ones to the windows, and that looked kind of cool because it looked really like kind of old windows then. So I did like how that looked. So then this is how the house looked when I'd finished. Like I said, I'm sure it will probably change like a little bit during the decoration part of the build. So if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll know when I post part 2 of this. And also once I finish this house, you'll be able to find it on the Sims gallery. You can either search my username mojoplayssims or use the hashtag mojoplayssims to find this house. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.